Of the approximately 200 million people in Nigeria, sub-Saharan Africa's largest economy, 85 million do not have access to reliable, affordable energy. The country's transmission and distribution infrastructure alone cannot meet its electricity needs, and this gap has significant social and economic consequences. The government is working to resolve this, and one way is through the introduction of policies and regulations that allow the private sector to assist in advancing distributed energy resources, small-scale electricity generation and storage to supplement the grid. In addition, Nigeria's Energy Transition Plan launched in 2022 seeks to add 30,000 megawatts of new installed energy capacity by 2030, from at least 30% renewables, to meet the power demand needed to keep the economy developing and thriving. There is one solution that is often overlooked that can help bring light and power to cities and communities that need it.
As we think about the energy transition targets in Nigeria, one thing that has not been given a lot of attention is the workforce development. Nigeria has a target of getting to net zero by 2060. So thinking about like the manpower and the workforce that is required to help do all of the necessary transition activities and projects to net zero by 2060 is very, very essential. And that's what the Energy Transition Academy is all about.
Getting to net zero and universal energy access requires skilled people doing the work. 4 million in Africa alone, and the workforce gap is slowing us down. One of the Energy Transition Academy's solutions is the Global Fellowship Program. This Nigeria cohort includes 20 energy leaders representing 4 electricity distribution companies, DISCOs, including Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, Ikeja Electric, Eco Electricity Distribution Company, and Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company. The fellowship program, offered in partnership with Lagos Energy Academy, focuses on project development training and peer collaboration to advance utility-enabled renewable energy projects.
Various heights. This land is sloping that way. Add capacity. So they present you a charge that you can buy 35% more and go back to your original capacity. A little change, clouds or sand, you see it's very intermittent, so it moves a lot. Yes.
Now, that means on each of those buildings they have separate step down.
Yes. Ministry had already been doing some of the work. They renovated some places, surprised us. They added a conference room that they didn't tell us. It's a humongous conference room that's 110 kilowatt. So, but it's still within the range. So, they feed us.
Okay, this guy, because like
No, it's not like this. It comes into this box, and from here 2 feeders come out. Yes.
No,
it's good. It's good.
You might get also
The fellowship program is one that brings in together utilities, developers, government players, the rest of the private sector. And so at the institutional level, it's very important that beyond the knowledge of the skill sets that are needed to transition to clean energy, there is also an understanding that can only be possible by working together.
ETA has actually helped us a lot in this program by developing and bringing together some fellows of the DISCOs, the Nigerian DISCOs. They've brought them together to develop a program for them, which we believe at the end of this day, they will have much impact in which they are going to create in the country, Nigeria.
Capacity building is a huge issue. Whilst we desire to fill that to scale, the need to develop competencies in these fields is critical. And we look forward to a successful program. I wish all the fellows a very successful fellowship program. Thank you very much.
At this stage, I want to know the capital options available. That is one. Also, and that one of the reasons why I'm tying this project to OTA is because the cost-benefit analysis of OTA is already ongoing. So that will answer the question whether I know the kind of the cost that is tied to that project.
You will have seen from the participants, they've all been excited. It's been an eye-opener for them, as we've seen from their feedbacks, and they are happy to go back there and start implementing all these things they have learned to enable them, increase the capacity to generate power, partner more with developers in the renewable energy space, and in the end, provide more power to Nigerians.
The conceptual phase of the energy transition is over. We have less than 8 years left for the world to drastically halve its emissions to avoid the worst effect of climate change while driving equitable and sustainable economic growth. We need to orient every possible dollar and person-hour toward doing the real work of the energy transition. We call it radical implementation, and it will set Africa and the global south up for a brighter future, with equal opportunities for all by scaling renewable energy projects.
This is a new terrain for most of the discos. The DUR project is something that we're new to, even though it's been in existence for a while. And the impact and the insight has been great.
The RMR has been able to also foster collaboration amongst us as DISCO. I wish a continuous program like this so that it will keep on fostering collaboration.
We need 14 million more skillful, capable clean energy professionals, and 16 million who require some form of training. Policymakers, regulators, developers, utility operators, financiers, project developers, and more. To scale renewables, dramatic improvements in workforce capacity must be a priority. At IMI, we focus on not only how many jobs can be created, but for whom. Renewables point to better gender outcomes, including improved health and well-being, and provide opportunities for Africa's youth. Empower change. Lead the transition. Join us.